one thing that I always preach on this channel is consistency. And in my life in general, for that matter. It's taken me 24 years to establish any sort of consistency in my life, and I've seen how instrumental it is to growth. But I have a story for you. There's this guy that I've been, I say hi to at the gym every now and then, and huge guy. But today we were talking, and he told me about how he started his fitness journey. And he told me a year ago he was 300 plus pounds. We were talking about pull-ups, yeah, because we always, see each other doing pull-ups, and that's how we first met, was at the pull-up bar, and we were working in with each other. And his journey started when he tried to dead hang on a pull-up bar for as long as he could. And he would do it every day. And the first time he tried, he said he only got it for 3 seconds, and he went home very sore, and he was hurting. After a few months, he said there was this guy who saw his consistency. And he's like, wow, I always see you out here. And so he was helping him. He was lifting his leg up a little bit. And he would do so until he would be able to do the full pull-up, which took him months after that. And he told me how he fell in love with pull-ups and with calisthenics and with working out after that. It was like a switch just flipped inside of him, and he just took off from there, and he never looked back at being out of shape. When he was telling the story, I was genuinely getting chills because of how inspiring it was. I was thinking about it. Imagine being over 300 pounds and trying to dead hang for as long as you can. One, that's just pretty daunting because you can't expect to dead hang from that long. Imagine wanting to do a pull-up from that point. You have so much work to do, and there's so much time in between you being able to hang and doing a full pull-up. That's crazy. I don't think people understand that. 300 pounds is a lot of weight. And to be able to lift all that, you have to have an incredible amount of muscle. I don't know if you guys know a lot about working out, but that's just absurd. But he stuck with it every single day, just dead hanged for as long as he could. And then eventually he got the pull-up, and that in of itself is an accomplishment, a massive accomplishment. But it just shows that consistency is so powerful. There's times where I'm sure he went home hurting and was very sore and felt hopeless. It's imagine he probably plateaued for periods of time where he was only doing 5 seconds on the bar, 10 seconds on the bar, and he couldn't get up to 15 seconds. Who knows? But he still had to go and do it, and because he wanted that pull-up. He wanted to be able to do it so bad that he was able to go through that struggle every single day. And I'm sure it was satisfying to hold the bar for longer and longer periods every week. But there's no gratification of a result necessarily, that pull-up. It wasn't some days he was able to do a pull-up and some days he wasn't. Just straight up wasn't able to pull himself up. And how patient do you have to be, and how bad do you have to want it to be able to sit through all of that period of essentially what people would consider nothingness? That's an incredible feat, which is why I got chills. And for me, as I've been going through my journey, I've lately kind of just been going through the motions a lot, and it is a period where I'm just focusing on the journey and I'm not seeing results necessarily. And that's okay, right? And his story proves that. He was getting better every single day, little by little by little. And he achieved what he wanted to. And that's the period of time that I feel like I'm in right now. And I'm sure he loved, he found like appreciation for that journey too. I'm sure there were days where he was excited to hold the bar and try to challenge himself to hold it for longer than the day before. And to see that amount of time just increase and increase. And he knew in the back of his mind he was going to get it. I don't doubt that. And then we talked about how you have to want it. Right? You can't. Consistency only makes sense when you really want it. Because you can go through periods of time where you really don't get results, and they can be long. And it's going to feel like that consistency is not paying off. But that wanting it so bad that you need it is just, it's very powerful. And he was talking about how even on rest days now, he just feels so much energy inside of him. He just, he knows it's good for him, but he really does just want to work out. It's like he needs it in his soul. The word want just gets thrown around. Everybody wants to be fit. Everybody wants to go to the gym. Everybody wants to have, this, wants to have that. But very few people are willing to put in that sort of consistency that he showed. Where he's not getting credit for anything, or he's not, getting a pat on the back from anybody, or he's just going to the bar by himself and holding it for as long as he can. And sometimes that could have been 5 seconds, 6 seconds. But that little incremental progress is beauty. And I know he knew that. That in and of itself is a success. Yes, getting the pull-up was a success for him. But think about all the little wins that he had building up to that point. Freaking crazy. And now he's cranking out pull-ups he's cranking out 100 pull-ups at the gym, like every single time I see him. And that for me is so inspiring. I'm out here doing maybe like 20 and 30. And he's doing his pull-ups, push-ups, dips. Not talking to anybody, absolutely locked in. Sweating his ass off, putting in the work, and because he loves it. Maybe there's a point that he wants to get to now with his physique, with his fitness, or with his health. But you can see it when he's working, he loves it. And every time he goes home or finishes a workout, he doesn't say, "Oh, my muscles grew bigger." That's why I love it. He loves it because of the life it gives him, of the fulfillment it gives him. And that's what life is about. It's that journey, that growth. That's what you learn to appreciate when you're deep into the work. Such a cool dude, and so much to learn from his story, truly. When you really think about that process of just hanging on the bar at 300 pounds and trying to get to a pull-up, some people weigh 80 pounds and they can't even do a pull-up. They won't even attempt doing a pull-up because they're afraid and because they think they can't do it. Okay, imagine being 5 times that weight. Respect. Reuben, 100% you have my respect, admiration. You've absolutely inspired me. Thank you for your story. And I really hope you see this video because I just want you to know how much you inspire me. You've really continued to light that fire inside of me with my growth, and I appreciate you so much for that, more than you know. So, thank you.